Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac. Be sure to check out my other social media accounts and my Patreon. Links are down below. Man, I usually don't feature more than one Transformer in one video. Few I can think of are the Ice Cream Skids and Mudflap I made 8 years ago, Skids and Mudflap in their Chevy vehicles, the Wreckers, and if you want to count this, Devastator. Though I don't, because the Transformers only turn into his limbs. However, out of those videos, the Ice Cream Skids Mudflap video is the only one that features both transformation, while the others had separate videos for each character. This is actually my first video in a long time that not only features 2 Transformers, but 2 triple changers. That's right, if you read the title and follow me on Instagram, these 2 actually have 3 modes, unless you're stupid and you don't read the title or description. There are car modes, there are aerial modes, and robot modes. Shatter and Dropkick are my favorite Decepticon duo, which isn't saying much because the way Michael Bay portrayed the Decepticons overall is really bad and I don't like his decision at all. They are just grey robots who have the same voice and have no personality besides Megatron and Starscream. And even those guys are just grey villains. Shatter and Dropkick have personalities and they play off of one another, which is great to see, and plus they are very colorful and stand out very well. Starting with Shatter, she is a very menacing villain because of how calm, collective, and calculated she really is. She's a scary robot who doesn't resort to violence first, unlike her partner. She really puts the deception in Decepticon. Now, building her car mode wouldn't be too hard if I didn't have to build her jet mode as well. After building these 2 Decepticon hunters, I've come to the conclusion that making anything into a jet is more difficult than making anything into a helicopter. The car mode overall does function like a car, but there's just so many things I had to sacrifice in order to make her jet mode function as well. One thing I have to prioritize more is the front side of the vehicle, so that way it's actually close to accurate and her tires can actually roll properly. The back I didn't really worry about too much. For size comparison, here's her next to Dropkick and Bumblebee for scale. Onto her transformation to the jet mode, and this will not be fun because of how much of a jumbled mess she is. Her jet mode ran into many design changes after posting a preview concept on my Instagram. I made her wings longer and the nose cone longer as well. I was also able to fit in a jet cockpit so that way the front of the mode at least resembles a jet. It's probably not accurate to the jet mode in the movie, but I didn't care since the only modes I care about is making sure the car mode is clean as possible and the robot mode is close to accurate to the CGI model. It is hard to transform Shatter into different modes because of how brittle certain areas can be, either because of the connection parts are loose or it's just supported by a single stud on few locations. I made sure the jet mode is packed and the car parts blend in smoothly with the rest. That includes using the car doors and windshield as wings, taking the hood and flattening it to give the jet mode more bulk, and using the heels from the robot mode as the tail wings. Only trouble I had was figuring out how to hide her front wheels in jet mode, but there was nothing else that could work, so I left it and pretend that it's the jet intakes for the mode. On to her second transformation, her robot mode. The robot mode is my favorite part because of the jet pieces and car can actually fit in proper placements onto her body to make it accurate as possible. For example, her front tires are actually her shoulders and they actually represent the engine intakes in the CGI mode. Jet's landing gear is actually located on her chest. The headlights are actually positioned differently. However, I couldn't really figure out a way how to bring the roof headlights onto her chest or her engine stored in between. Her legs were actually really tricky because it's mostly red in the CGI model and they're only the jet parts. So I just move whatever and I just pretend they're part of the robot mode even though these parts are clearly from the back of the car. Overall, the robot mode is actually my favorite, but transforming her was a pain. Everything just kind of smushes together in certain points and it's really tricky due to its lack of stability. She clearly shatters kill me. For weapons, I made these two twin guns she has, and both can actually be stored on her arms. For size comparison, she is actually the tallest of the three main Transformers in the movie. She towers over Bee and Dropkick for a bit. Now, Dropkick is actually the easier triple changer here, and he is my favorite of the Decepticon duo. He's just super funny, and I actually like how he wants to kill all humans and is eager to squish them. I mean, I would too because I hate people. Like Shatter, he has a distinct personality, but it's the polar opposite. While Shatter is the manipulative, cunning type of warrior, Dropkick just wants to wreck shit. It's funny since he's a short, stumpy looking Decepticon like Bone Crusher, but he has still more charm than he does. It was easier to make him into a triple changer because I had ideas on how to make something like this when I thought about making Drift as a triple changer before. Dropkick had some major changes from the studio file I made for a concept. I made sure the wheels sit down further because of the helicopter cockpit wouldn't let the wheels touch the ground originally. The back section is completely different too because I made the wheels on his legs, which isn't accurate at all since those are actually supposed to go in his forearms. The legs are actually different from the concept too, so that way the taillights can actually be incorporated onto his legs, and I can incorporate his back helicopter blades. Overall, this car mode isn't what I imagined it to be, but I made sure that it at least looks like a car. I would have made the blue pieces in the car mode black, but I went with blue because of the robot mode. There are sacrifices I have to make with detailing for other mode. On to the helicopter transformation. The helicopter is my favorite alt mode because of how everything is put together. My favorite section has to be the helicopter blades because of how it transformed. I was actually lucky to fit all 4 helicopter blades into the car, and it actually wasn't as difficult as I thought. Unlike Shatter, the transformation isn't too much of a pain in the ass, but I do have to be careful with certain areas such as the arms, since it's only held by a single stud. I had these helicopter weapons stored onto his arms which you can actually fold out, but they don't do anything and just kind of sit there from the side, though I still kept it for detail reasons. There isn't a good way for me to store his wheels, so this is the best I can do. One thing I'm actually really proud of is figuring out a way how to incorporate the back helicopter blades for his tail. This was not easy to figure out, but I did it. The helicopter mode doesn't really tap together, and the tail just kind of rests on the car doors, which is supported by a stud, so holding this guy is risky. Overall, the shape is fairly proportional, and I especially love the top view of it. On to the final transformation into the robot mode. The robot mode of course is the best of the three, and it has the perfect blend of the car and helicopter blades, unlike Shatter, which is just mostly jet parts. The cockpit rests fairly well onto the chest cavity, and the helicopter blade is my favorite part of the transformation and the look. Transforming into robot mode from helicopter is actually quite easy, because once I transform it into a helicopter, I'm pretty much clear to transform it into a robot, unlike Shatter, which is transform a car to a jet, then soar it back into a car into a robot. Rest of the robot mode I made sure it's accurate, like the way his wheels transform into the robot mode, the rear headlights into his leg, and the headlights on his chest. The one thing that really isn't accurate is the position of the car doors. They are supposed to be facing backwards, but I couldn't figure an easier way to do that, so I went against it and I just made the doors face forward. For weapons, I have his gun, which he used to turn humans into liquid goo material, and his sword. That is all guys, thank you for watching this video. I had fun making these two, and I at least have two more Transformers planned for Bumblebee, and that is Optimus Prime and Blitzwing. I'm actually almost done with Blitzwing. All I really need to do is just figure out his legs, which wouldn't really take long at all, and get started on Prime. I would love to make more figures from Bumblebee, like Soundwave, Shockwave, RC, Cliffjumper, and others, just to have like a mini collection, and I'll make them in Cybertronian modes because that is something unique and something I haven't done at all. I'm not making instructions for these guys because, you know, instructions take us a long time, and please do not ask me for them or what am I going to build next. Only I can make the decision of what I want to do on my own channel. I kind of... Man, my outros are kind of getting weak now. It's not like I have anything funny to say. I kind of want to give this a good send-off. I know!